good morning, guys. Welcome to today's session, our first ever web talk episode entitled New Year, New Me, New Career. Hi, Paula. Good morning.
Hi, Celine. Good morning. First off, I would like to greet everyone a happy New Year and happy
Yes, Happy
2023.
New Year. Happy 2023,
Mm,
guys.
yes. As mentioned
Our,
by Celine, this is the first episode of Lennor Pulse where we talk more about career and other stuff. So since this is a special episode for us, we invited a special guest. So Celine, wag na natin patagalin pa. Sino ba ang ating special guest?
yes, of course. Sino nga ba itong ating special guest today? Okay, itong ating special guest today, in the past, she worked as a human resource business partner for Surpass, where she was in charge of the end-to-end organization recruitment, and part of her career was also spent as an HR specialist for Paragon ICC and a recruitment consultant for John Clements Consultants. Today, she has been serving as the People Success Partner of Savvy, where she works alongside the Chief People Officer to address daily HR operational issues. So, without further ado, okay, we are very pleased to introduce to you our special guest speaker for today, Miss Claire Jamias-Ricasata, MAP. Let's give her a round of applause. Welcome.
Woo! Virtual audience. Woo!
Yes.
Morning, everyone, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. I can't wait to share with our audience today everything, all the insights about restarting or revamping their career this year.
Yes.
Mhm.
So welcome, Claire, and thank you so much for accommodating us to be the first speaker of Lennor Pulse episode. And based dun sa ating title, di ba, parang New Year, New Me, New Career. Parang bagong reband lang, no? Parang pagpasok mo ng 2023, plansyado yung hair mo. Parang ganun yung ano natin, vibes natin.
Ready to take
And
on
of,
the world,
di
Mangheng.
ba?
Yes.
2023, here I go, di ba? And embracing change, starting the new year with a fresh perspective and also on career and life goals. So speaking of new, since kaka-New Year lang natin, Claire, how did you spend your New Year naman?
Hmm. How did I spend my New Year? Well, it was the busiest, I think, no, that really happened to me this year because number one, syempre, di ba, tayo mga Pinoy, we're very into celebrating it together with our family members.
True.
True.
But at the same time, gusto rin natin magpahinga. We want to rejuvenate ourselves then, and we want to set our goals. So, ang dami nangyari, but basically, I didn't forget about myself because, again, ang daming nangyari during the pandemic and we want to start this over. So, I really believe kasi in the power of stepping back. So, ayan, yung nag-reflect tayo. Tama ba yung mga ginawa nating decisions in the past? Yung mga goals ba natin this year are still the goals that we still wanted to achieve, di ba? So, reflecting and having like my checklist lang talaga on how can I restart everything this year.
Alright. So more about stepping back and checking out what happened last year and is it the same as what you want this year? Alright.
Yes.
It's a good insight din, no, na parang before you set your intentions, parang it's good talaga na you reflect.
Backtrack.
In the past, before ka talaga mag-set ng new list of your resolutions and stuff like that. That's nice.
Since you mentioned resolution, I know, di ba, bagong-bago to, New Year, New Year's resolution.
Correct.
Meron, for 2023, since it's a new year for all of us, I know that you have your past, and pagpasok ng January 1, do you have a specific New Year's resolution or target goal for this year?
Personally, nag-set talaga ako ng, kumbaga, mantra. This year, nasusundan ko, be grounded. Tapos, guys, you know what? When I was starting to practice grounding and So, parang tinatry ko siyang i-apply in my day-to-day activity. Parang na-realize ko na mahirap pala. Because of course, especially if you're working, especially that you have a lot of things to do and you have other commitments, parang laging dapat mabilis ka with everything.
Yeah,
And it
correct.
to take a hard pause. So, from my mantra of being grounded, nag-set pa ako ng mga, kumbaga para mga sub-goals pa in order for me to achieve the grounded mantra
The
of
steps.
this
Uh-huh.
yes, the steps.
Parang
Okay.
same as, di ba,
Yeah.
yung mantras, parang mga keywords for the year. Like, di ba, usually meron
Yeah.
ka certain theme or parang word for the
Yeah.
year na, o parang last year. I can relate, no? Kasi parang, I also parang started yung ganyan, yung mga meditation practices, yung stuff, diba? Parang it helps a lot with your mental health, di ba?
Yes.
So, it's nice
Correct.
to know and relate somehow, diba?
For you, Celine, do you have a specific resolution naman or parang same with Claire that with a big resolution, there are sub-steps take on?
Siguro somehow same. Yung sabi ko nga na nakaka-relate, no? Dun sa parang sinasabi niya siya, meron siyang mga mantras. Ako naman sa akin,
Yeah.
parang keyword. I started this
alright.
parang last year. Ako parang last year, yung keyword ko is parang manifestation, ganyan. Every time na parang stress ako or I feel pressure, di ba, sa work or even sa personal life, I'll just remind myself of that keyword. I would just say it, or usually it's on my parang wallpaper sa laptop,
Yeah.
or nakalagay na siya sa drawer, ganyan. So, for this 2023, parang naging keyword ko is focus. So, parang
Okay.
sometimes yung mga distractions, mga external forces that we don't have control over, diba? Ang daming distractions, so every time na ma-distract ako or I feel unmotivated, ganyan. So, I just remind myself my keyword for this year would be focus. So, parang ma-align ko ulit yung sarili ko, parang ganyan.
I'd probably do that in this year then to have a keyword or have a mantra and then check out other stuff that is related. Kasi right now, parang I don't have a New Year's resolution eh. Last year, ang New Year's resolution ko is to travel more, which is na-achieve ko naman siya based on my bank statement na medyo palugi na siya. So, na-achieve ko siya last year. But of course, I'm happy naman with that investment on myself. So, since this is 2023, no, and 2022 came by, you are different from a year ago. How do you accept who you are and what you are right now? Is there some regrets that you did in the past that you want to backtrack and make good out of it, or how do you accept it?
Grabe, parang na-reflect tuloy ako bigla, no, Paula? So, actually, not only about the 2022 eh. Kasi especially when the pandemic started, parang all of us would have a lot of things that we realized na, this is something that I need to improve on pala, or this is something that I am great pala, diba? As an HR, if I may share with you guys, siguro some of the things that I felt like okay naman ako before. Like when we were in the office, like I can communicate well with my stakeholders face to face. I can face a lot of people in public and, for example, organize a general assembly without any doubts, di ba, sa sarili ko, or any fear in public speaking. But when I did it online, parang doon ko din na-realize that, nako, parang ba't ako kinakabahan, that I don't see my audience whenever I present something to them. So, siguro, just to go back to the question, I became really hardworking to improve myself, no?
Yeah.
Especially yung mga transitioning from 2021, 2022, talagang nagsikap ako to revisit my skills. For example, in public speaking, what do I have to do to revamp my communication skills and my interpersonal skills? Kasi I need this, for example, in our current setup, like working from home, working online, communicate online. So I enrolled to Toastmasters, okay, to enhance my skills. And then parang I feel like I need more, di ba? Parang I want to be more confident whenever I face people. I worked on my internal confidence by enrolling to a life coaching program. So, you know what, when I did those things, like when I initiated those things, those aren't parang overnight decisions. It
Yeah.
took time also for me to think about those and
Mhm.
really think of, ito ba yung tama for me? Kasi ito ba yung goal talaga na gusto kong mangyari after I take these courses? And lo and behold, I don't have regrets. Because I think humility talaga is the key to accept, no? Yung strengths natin, madali eh. Madali na
Yeah.
yan. Diba? You will just showcase it. That's it. And
Mhm.
hope it. Pero yung mga opportunities to improve on for me are some things na, are some of the things na number one, tatamaan sometimes ego natin, di ba? And parang hindi naman, parang hindi ko naman kailangan
Oo.
yan.
Kasi you're checking if, may lacking ba talaga ako dito? Parang gano'n, di ba?
Correct. And other things siguro that helped me to, siguro maitawid ko, no, yung mga, let's say for example, mga gaps that I realized from 2021, 2022. Now I'm harvesting it na in 2022. Like I'm harvesting
It's an
those
investment talaga.
talaga. Would be mga feedback from my trusted family members, let's say, especially my husband, my immediate managers in the past, whenever that they provided me like feedback, I really took it constructively, and then I applied it. Totoo pala yun. Totoo pala
Yung
yun.
constructive
Yeah,
criticism.
constructive criticism, and if you just listened actively, and if you didn't like just being defensive with
Yeah,
those,
correct.
tulungan talaga niya to really step up your game.
Kasi medyo na-hit yung ego mo, parang ikaw you want to bounce back, di ba? Minsan ganun yung
Correct.
feel mo eh.
Correct. Tapos you didn't realize na, ay, kaya ko pala naranasan yung mga, let's say, maybe shame before, or parang resistance in the past. Naging open ako, and right now, talagang nakita mo yung improvement in yourself in 2023.
Correct.
That's really nice, no? You talk about yung, when you mentioned about yung constructive criticism, na you took it as a positive thing for you to improve yourself, diba? Especially kasi nga, diba, isang, we want to tackle is yung how we cope with pressure. So, when things get really stressful, when you get pressured with a lot of, with deadlines, with your bosses, with workload and stuff like that, and you feel na parang, usually, syempre, nobody's perfect, diba? So, pag nagkakaroon tayo, we feel, sometimes we take it parang the hard way na parang, ang hirap, diba? But, people parang come to you and parang, just being straightforward na ito yung dapat na nagawa mo, and then positive ka lang na, oh yeah, you use it to improve on yourself. It helps a lot with the pressure also that you are feeling. And also, when you mentioned about the resistance, diba? Ako, meron akong line before na super may impact siya sa akin. Yung parang sabi, diba, a lot of the stresses that we feel, diba, in life, yung mga pressure and hardship, it's usually because we resist what is. Yung parang sinasabi, parang don't resist what is. Kasi those are the things na don't have control over naman. Diba? So, pag we resist reality diba? May resistance. It's the reality of life. Diba?
Yes.
Yung mga stresses and stuff like that, yung mga failures that you've mentioned, and instead, parang we should acknowledge it. Diba? Sit with it. It's okay to be mad about it, sad about it, but you have to acknowledge it and use it to improve yourself, diba? In what you are doing. Yeah.
Right.
Really nice.
So parang you just have to deal with it proactively.
Yeah. So, and sabi mo, di ba, parang you reflect on what you've done in the past before, and then you took yung constructive criticism. So, parang naging siya, di ba, sa mga investment siya, yung mention ni Paula. Investment, parang wala namang success overnight, or wala namang growth na na-attain overnight, di ba? But, yung investment yun, parang parang sabi nga, diba, inaanin mo siya, yung mga
Mm-hmm.
seeds na plant mo before, for the fresh start that you want.
Correct.
Diba? That was the last year. For this 2023, yung mga goals mo, resolutions mo, parang nagagamit mo siya. Yung learnings na yon, diba? For
Mm-hmm.
that start. So, speaking of fresh start din, no, Paula, diba? Parang sa
Mhm.
yung gusto nating rinig from Claire also is how you motivate yourself for that fresh start.
Yeah.
Although, na-mention mo na nga din kanina, but kasi sabi nga natin, it's easy to set intentions eh, di ba? Set goals, set
Yeah.
your list of
Mhm. Mhm.
resolutions. It's easy, di ba? At the start of the year, you feel parang you're ready to be a better version of yourself, ganyan. But how easy it is, or how hard it is to motivate yourself, di ba? To see through your goals and yung mga
Mm-hmm.
resolutions to set at the start of the year. Ikaw, Claire, how easy or how hard it is for you to motivate yourself for that fresh start that you need.
I think it's really about for me, yeah, back then when I was
Mhm.
starting with down the intentions and all, I go back to my why. Why do I do this? Why do I want to do
Yeah.
this? What do I gain after I accomplish this, for example? But more than that, I would go back to thinking really about my self improvement. Like I want to be a better person. I actually
Mhm.
don't just work on myself because of external gains. Hindi.
Yeah.
Yun yung parang something that na parang that's the least thing that I'm gonna think of because for the longest time in my past, there's a lot of things that I needed to work on for example, with my insecurities and my confidence level, for example. And right now, when I say gain naman, parang it feels good, no, na I don't procrastinate. Hindi ko sinasabi I don't, but the procrastination in my mind lessen, for example, with situations. It's it's something that I really wanted to achieve ever since. But something that I'm really, really happy about that I feel right now. I'm more confident.
Mhm.
So it's more of like internal motivation for me. Eh. So I really go back to why do I want to start things right?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Always backtrack on the question why.
Backtrack.
Mm.
Oo, intention talaga. And
Mhm.
yeah, the
Yung,
power of stepping back is something that I really promote.
and yung motivations mo talaga, why you do the things that you do. No, it's
Yes.
more goals natin. Yeah.
Actually, personally, I'm also keen into what can I contribute to my society, for example. Not
Alright.
necessarily neighbors and all, but more of like, syempre dun sa community mo, so
Yeah.
workmates, especially if you think about your role in, for example, in an organization. For me, as an HR, I need to give my 100% best for the employees, for them to be nurtured, taken care of, and let's say loved. No? Medyo cheesy lang
Mhm.
pakinggan. Pero that's really the role that I wanna um, play in my current, for example, position in the company. So how can I give something if I don't have it? How can I
Mhm.
share something if
Alright.
I lack?
Yeah.
Diba? So, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. And also, since you mentioned that since you mentioned more about the fresh start, we know naman that when you look back, since that is one key that you're checking out, is when you look back, there are some pressures before you meet your goal. So for
Mm-hmm.
you as a established HR in the field or as a person, how do you cope up with pressures, like the external pressures or internal pressures?
External pressure, I think with that, you will just learn it along the way. Because, for example,
Ah, yeah.
you're new in an organization,
Mhm.
if you're a fresh graduate, hindi ko naman nilalahat. Of course, there are fresh
Mhm.
graduates na mature na talaga sila when they enter workforce, di ba? They know how to
Yeah.
manage
Sure.
their feelings, emotions, ganyan. But if something na, for example, if you wanna learn pa how to handle pressure,
Mhm.
it will take time and experience. And for me, gano'n yung journey ko. Medyo matagal siya. Yeah. Reality speaking, matagal siya for me, but what I did siguro in the past, I really looked for mentors at work. So, for
Yeah.
example, if I saw someone na, very emotionally resilient tong taong to. So, ina-observe ko siya palagi. How he speaks, ganyan. How he acts. Paano yung leadership style niya. So, ina-admire ko yon. And I list it down. And I also try to practice it as a habit. Ayan. So, internal pressure naman for me, I also learned it, just recently to be kinder to myself. Like, okay, nape-pressure ko, I have a goal and parang ang tagal, di ba? Tagal ko ma-attain. But how can I cheer for myself and how can I help myself kung ako mismo hindi ako yung mismong cheerleader ko.
Yeah.
That I want to happen in my life. So be kind to yourself and be more understanding to yourself. Those are the key things that I applied whenever I'm still applying whenever I feel pressured with all the circumstances that I face.
And in terms of career, no, in terms of kasi you're in the human resource industry and we know how, stressful it can be, how, alam mo yun, yung mga pressures ng well, sa recruitment side, clients, the management, yung pressure. But you, Claire, no, ikaw kasi, syempre, you've been in the industry for so long, for God knows how long, diba? But, yung kasi, ako, what I was thinking na when you were talking, and when Paula mentioned or discussed about yung coping with pressure, kasi, with HR, no, with human resource, very siya, no, para kang, di ba sinasabi nga natin may mga HR generalist, pero in the human resource industry, parang basically magiging generalist ka talaga.
Yeah.
Management, handling people, yung sa company sides, employee side, and we know na kung gaano siyang di ba, yung pressure mo na yung issues ng ibang tao, yung issues ng iba sa company, na ikaw yung parang sinasalo mo lahat. Diba? And kasi parang sabi, if you are, say for example, you're in the marketing industry or you're in the business development industry or whatever, sales industry, parang the pressure that you experience or the stress that you experience, parang, I'm not saying naman na parang lahat naman nasa stress or nape-pressure, but kasi yun yung parang pressured or stressed ka kasi ito yung mga kailangan mong gawin sa sales and all that. Pero with human resource kasi, parang ang dami niyang, alam mo yun, areas na kailangan mong tutukan and kasuhin, no? Especially ikaw, with kay Claire, no? Success people partner, andyan yung sa company side. Yung pressure na sinasabi natin, Claire, yung being in that industry or in that role, yung pressure hindi lang naman din kasi siya sa atin as an employee. Diba? You also experience yung mga issues ng companies na kailangan mo ayusin. Diba? In terms of yung mga layoffs, yung mga retrenchment, yung mga ganyan. So, how do you handle it? How do you cope with it?
So, in our role as for example, tayo mga HR generalist or HR business partners, managers, no? Oo, isa talaga that we face employees and we need to manage, like, for example, yung camaraderie at work, di ba?
Yeah.
Process. Madami tayong roles in the organization na hindi nakikita ng lahat, na parang we are the mother of the company somehow kasi, yun nga, we take care of employees, di ba? We are like, what do you call this? Parang sergeant at arms, let's say. Parang you maintain
Titingnan mo, no?
policies naman, di ba? Or somehow the events organizer kasi you have activities to promote for employee well-being. But with that, I'd say na in my experience, I make sure talaga that I refill my cup. Like, I need to go back to my why and my personal strategies on how do I remain calm in situations, how do I help myself more when it comes to being knowledgeable with my work. Kasi of course,
Yeah.
change is constant. HR, kailangan din nating sumabay dyan. In terms of technology, in terms of anong announcement ni Dole, di ba? Parang we need to
Space
be...
kasi. Oo.
We have to familiarize ourselves with the latest trends, di ba? So, we have to keep ourselves updated with those. But at the same time, we have to also make sure na, again, we are taking good care of ourselves so that maganda yung mabigay natin din sa mga employees. Whereas, naman, when it comes to handling pressure in terms of our role, kasama na yan. So, if you really want to enter this role in human resources, you really have to be ready. I guess, partly, with the college institutions and universities offering this course, they really have to reiterate to their, for example, students in taking, yung mga take up ng human resources or psychology or business management courses leading towards this career na it's not a walk in the park.
Yeah, correct.
Diba? Na haharapin nila in the future. Because they are dealing with people's emotions. They are dealing with mga kabuhayan ng mga tao. And one mistake may affect so many factors, diba? So, being responsible for me is one of the things that I try to remind myself so that I can provide the right decisions also at work para, for example, maiwasan din yung mga problems and di naman maiwasan, to face it resiliently, kumbaga. And as an HR, to be to manage stress at work, actually, you have to be emotionally resilient for me.
Okay.
You really have to work on those. Like, again, for example, whatever works for you to muscle up, building up your resiliency, you have to do those. Whatever works for you.
And since you mentioned there kanina, no, HR talaga is one of the key help sa mga employees to relieve stress or to check out the stress level of the employees, right? Way back 2 years ago, way back 2020, we know that we are badly affected with the pandemic, especially the business markets, right? And dyan napapasok yung, may layoff, may retrenchment, especially yung mga booming business pa lang. As an HR, how do you comfort or how do you tell an employee about that? Or ikaw ba sa sarili mo, have you experienced retrenchment or layoffs or redirection as a way to put it?
Yes, once in my life, I experienced being retrenched. And it was really a painful situation. Syempre, you've invested a lot in the company and tayo, parang as an HR, it's not, again, a walk in the park na basta lang tayo mag-work and mag-work. Kasama lahat to dahil, again, we are taking good care of our employees and kasama doon yung emotions, feelings, and yung pagbuboost ng morale sa kanila. In that time, I was so down. I didn't know what to do because sabay-sabay, I was taking my master's, nawalan ako ng trabaho, start of the year. What will I do next? So I shifted my perception, my perspective about it. So since I was so busy, I focused on my internship back then. Iba't iba tayong situations, but as per my experience, I focused on my internship for my master's as a preschool teacher. And I think for the longest time na nagtatrabaho ko, siguro mga ika-9th year ko yun or 8th year sa HR, doon ko lang na-feel na, there's more to life. Parang, there's more to life that you can apply still your skills as an HR to another role. For example, as a preschool, parang ako din naman yung nag-guide sa kanila, I take care of them, I give them instructions, etc. Diba? So, you just need to, again, proactively deal with the situation and think of ways on how to, because I don't see it like a super super
Super
problem.
yeah.
Syempre, it depends on the situation naman ng tao.
Yeah. Mhm.
Financially back then, my husband's with me, so
Mhm.
I can be supported by him. But
Mhm.
of course, with other people, it's not easy. It's not gonna be
Never
so
easy.
easy for
Yeah.
them. So um, I guess it's really more of really thinking of ways on how to earn, like how to
Yeah.
maximize your potentials, especially right now na we are living online, if I may say.
Yeah. Be creative.
Online, di ba? Parang there's a lot of opportunities that we can try.
Mhm.
Also to again revisit our skills.
Mhm.
So kung mag-work na to for me, for example, if I can't go back to this kind of job again, so ito yung skill set ko. Ano kayong work pa yung pwede dito even if it doesn't compensate the amount that I was earning back then.
Mhm.
So those are the strategies that I have in mind when it comes to retrenchment. Ganyan.
Way up another direction. You know
Yes.
what? I have a similar experience with you, Claire, in terms of ano naman another direction. Since you mentioned earlier na parang from HR, you also tried parang being a preschool teacher. Kasi when
Mm.
I'm a graduate of psychology, so yung mga kabatch ko dyan, Trinity, hello. So I'm a graduate of psych. Pero pagtungtong ko ng college, I was uncertain. So, kaya yung psychology, hindi yun yung first course ko. Nag-IT muna ako. O, di ba? Ang layo. So, that is how uncertain I was before. So,
Mm.
pagka-graduate ko ng psychology, I didn't know what path I should take. And then, nung nagkaroon ako ng first job, my first job is a recruitment associate. So, when I became a recruitment associate, akala ko straight path lang siya. Like, you will just climb the
Mm.
corporate ladder. Magiging lead ka lang, magiging senior ka lang, magiging manager ka lang, and then, yun yung pinakamataas. Pero all along, recruitment lang siya. Gets? Yung parang it's the same path, just higher. Ganun.
Mm.
And then, I switched company, going here at Lennor. Back then, it was still a startup. So,
Mm.
syempre, alam mo to, kapag startup, multiple hats talaga, di ba? So, the owner just gave me the output that he wants, ganyan, and also mentored me. So, dun ko nalaman na hindi lang pala ako okay sa recruitment. I can also check out other jobs na, uy, parang okay ako, parang may skill ako dito ah. So, parang nag-try ako ng business development, ng sales, ng marketing, ganyan. So, syempre, multiple hat ka, lahat talaga parang gagawin mo siya, di ba? So, dun ko realize na it's not a straight path for me ah. It's not a straight path. Like, there are other doors that I can check out. Kung align ba yung skills ko. And I get to check if my skills is okay dun sa direction na yun. So that's
Mm.
why parang yung redirection for me, it's a way of checking out your limits. Na parang, uy,
Mm.
meron ba akong potential dito? Ganyan. Kasi if you just go straight and not move in another direction, doon ka lang talaga ma-hone. Parang for
Correct.
me kasi, you will grow in that path. But
Correct.
what if you can grow with another direction then? Diba?
Correct. Correct. I
So
think
that's my take.
oo, ang ganda ng shinare mo because I think it's really about the exposure and the environment
Yeah.
also where you at para
Mm-mm.
ma-maximize mo lahat ng skills nga na you currently have, di ba? Um, and the openness to learn and unlearn and relearn things
Yes. Mm-mm.
can really help you find your niche.
Yeah.
True. Kasi you
And
won't know, 'di ba? Unless you were given a chance to try that. So thank you so my mentor, Sir King. Nag-shout out.
actually, parang it's ano talaga, no? It's more of yung being really self-aware, no? To
Yeah,
me,
correct.
sa akin, talagang it helps a lot, no? Sa lahat. In your personal life, in your professional life, in terms of career, no? Kailangan talaga self-aware ka. Kasi
Mm,
yung, alam mo yung strength mo, di ba? As you've
correct.
mentioned earlier na, if you know who you are, like who you really
Mhm.
are, diba? Kasi usually, minsan parang tayo, we feel like na, kilala mo yung sarili mo, kasi ikaw yan. But when
Yeah.
you reflect, no, yung sinasabi ni Claire kanina, di ba, yung mga retrenchment, yung nag-lead
Mhm.
to direction, but it paved the way for some people to actually think about where they want to go pa and where they are
Yeah.
right now.
Correct.
Na parang, when nag-lockdown and all that, I'm pretty sure, di ba, hindi lang ako, kayo, and all our audience now, during the pandemic, especially during the lockdown, period, you reflected a lot in life, di ba? And parang wala ka namang
Mm.
magagawa, sa bahay ka lang, di ba? So parang ang dami mong naisip, ang dami mong na-realize sa sarili mo. And ako personally, when I became really self-aware, like I know who I am, who I really am. Like the real,
Yeah.
iba kasi yung alam mo lang yung sarili mo, na, unlike dun sa hihimayin mo siya. Like when, kasi I do journaling so hihimayin mo siya na, sino ba talaga ako? And then, when you realize na, okay, so yung the things that I love to do, diba? The things that make me cringe, diba? Nagagamit siya din sa career in terms of career.
Yeah,
Kasi
correct.
parang, ayoko ng ganito. Bakit ako naiinis sa ganitong bagay? Or bakit naman itong mga ganitong bagay gusto ko? Or nag-enjoy ako? And then I reflected na parang, okay. So yung mga gusto ko and also what I do best, kung saan ako magaling, no? Parang ganyan na pwede pala siya sa ganitong career. And that's how I transitioned to HR recruitment. Kasi ako naman before, parang by profession, mass comm, advertising. So more on events, may career sa events, marketing, and then yung most recent ko, my previous was business development. I was business development for more than 5 years. Diba? And then, when I reflected, nung nag-pandemic talaga, and I realized na parang talagang gusto ko yung recruitment. Parang, naalala ko siya, parang stressful ba, ganyan. Pero, hindi, I talk to people, I like to know why they do what they do. Diba? And I can read people easily.
Yeah.
So, I'm very intuitive. I was born intuitive. So, I feel na magagamit ko siya. And aside from those skills na magagamit ko dito siguro sa recruitment also is nag-enjoy pa ako. So, I ventured into that, career path. Oo. And then, it's not easy, di ba? Redirections, it's not easy. Diba? Madaming rejections like what I experienced na I got siguro hundreds of applications submitted. Diba? Kahit sa entry level nga lang. Kasi ako, in my previous, business development head.
Yeah.
And parang ang hirap bitawan nun. Parang yung sa akin, ang hirap bitawan nung more than 5 years and business development head. And mag-transition ako into an entry level. Diba? But that's what my heart was, it's the universe was nudging me to do. So I decided to, sige, I'll try. And
You took a chance.
I took a chance, and then ang dami kong applications submitted. All of it was a no. All of it parang kumbaga scene-zoned. All of it was, rejection letters. Kasi I don't have any experience. I don't have any, any HR experience, any recruitment experience, corporate. But siguro sabi ko, hindi ba talaga siya? But then, sabi ko nga, if you have a vision sa akin, for me, if you want to transition, no, yung career, may redirect, if you have a vision and you believe in yourself that you can do it, just go for it. Kahit daming rejections.
Correct.
You really believe in it. Talagang, yung alam mo sa puso, alam mo may mga ganun talaga tayo na, in terms of career, no, meron talagang mga ganun na, alam mo talaga na yun talaga.
Nafe-feel mo talaga.
Pero kahit minsan meron tayong mga rejection sa panfilm, hindi pala. Pero hindi pag alam mo talaga siya, kahit ang daming rejections, you will still pursue it.
Yeah.
And then finally, shout out ulit kay Sir King again. Diba? I was given the chance. Diba? Someone took a chance on me. And ayun, finally, nag-start na ako ng different career. So, yun naman yung sa akin in terms of transition, career direction.
Let's always be reminded that life is for us. So in spite of the circumstances and the challenges that we're facing, let's remember that life will always be for us and not against us.
Yes. The things are happening. Yeah. Ayun. So, dun sa pag-transition ng career, so feeling ko sa akin, I feel na mas lighter. Although, syempre, there's pressure pa rin, diba? In terms of Paula, minsan, kailangan ng ganito, endorsements, si client.
Meron na ba?
May pressure pa rin, diba? There will always be stress, diba? Stressors external. But I feel lighter now na parang mas aligned dun sa kung sino ako or my strength, yung ginagawa ko. And I feel na somehow, although hindi naman ako manager, or hindi naman ako AVP, or I'm not like Claire, who's very, diba, parang you're successful na, diba, in this industry, you have, alam ko, madami ka din naman pinagdaan to get to where you are. But I feel na somehow, I'm successful. Diba? In terms of, diba, pursuing what I wanted, and now I'm here, and then there's still a lot, diba? There's a long way for me to go. But I feel na somehow I'm already successful with where I am now. And ayun. But how, in terms, speaking about success, diba? Ikaw, Claire, I'm sure naman success has parang different definition for everyone.
Correct.
Me, Paula, Claire, how do you define success in terms of career or
In terms of success,
general?
yeah, I define it na I measure my own success, or this is actually my personal definition, no, by comparing of the person that I was yesterday, or I were yesterday, and today.
Okay.
So, for example, diba, others may have like opinions about our progress, and for example, if it's positive, then we you. Salamat na nakita mo yung progress ko. But if, for example, we're hearing mga unsolicited opinions about the measurement of our personal success, I also learned it the hard way, but gratitude talaga is the attitude, no? Kumbaga.
Yeah.
Just always remember that you need to be one with yourself on defining success, because at the end of the day, you are the driver of your own success and you live it. So it's really, really up to you.
It's really me versus me. Parang ganun,
Yes,
diba?
versus me.
Regardless of yung sabi nga na mga unsolicited advice, diba?
Yes.
Like ako kasi sabi ko kayo sa akin din, singit ko lang ulit, no? Parang in relation to what Claire has mentioned, no? Or talked about. Parang sa akin, bakit magta-transition ka na entry level? Business development head ka, or, diba, yung ganyan. Pero sa akin, may mapaisip ka, pero no eh, diba? Parang, to me, I'm successful in terms of, diba, ako, nababalance ko yung life ko. Parang, hindi siya ganun ka-toxic, unlike before, na parang, basta I'm just happy. I'm happy now. Like,
Correct.
Kung sa'yo, I'm not successful because bumalik ako, halimbawa, say, for example, an entry level.
Step back ako.
That's for you, and I respect your opinion, diba? This is how you think, diba? Parang, ganun yung way mo ng thinking, eh. But for me, this is what success looks like to me. So
success have different phases talaga. It really depends on the person. Parang napanood ko sa TikTok, yung parang the Charles and Keith na they call it, that person call it luxury, di ba? It's different from her and it's different from other people. So with success, parang medyo ganun din siya. Ito yung success sa'yo, and then this is how I view my success. So it really depends on the perspective that one person has. Pero for me, I agree with Claire and you, Celine, na it's a battle between yourself, and it is an affirmation within yourself. Validation within yourself talaga. Kasi ako, for me, yung success ko, dapat ako lang yung magbabalidate. Na, successful ka, girl. Ayoko parang, yung acknowledgement is good by other people. But of course, mas mapifeel mo yung success mo if sa sarili mo, you got a pat on yourself. Parang, you did a good job. That is something that you can be proud of. Ganyan. One thing that I realized recently lang din is I also view success when I influence other people to be successful. Kasi parang with my line of work before, I place candidates to their organizations, di ba? So, nakita ko yung mga life updates nila. They get promoted, they are growing in that company, ganyan. So for me, parang I view that as one of my success kasi I was one of their stepping stone in getting there. So parang ako, I'm like a proud mama. Go guys. Ganun yung na-feel ko. So it's a success for me talaga.
Correct. It really how you define it. You own it, diba?
Okay. Siguro, yun nga, now that we
Mhm.
define it, diba, parang it's different for everyone. For me, for Paula, for Claire, and sa mga audience natin, diba?
Mhm.
Now that siguro yung audience natin nagre-reflect na din, ano ba yung success for me? Am I successful right now?
Mhm.
Or diba, ganun. But I hope, no, yung audience natin, at the end of this episode, madami din naman makuha, no? And in terms of success, sana ma-define nila yung success na hinahanap nila, di ba? Personally, professionally, and yung
Mhm.
sa sarili mo lang. Na you feel lighter, you feel na, kasi di ba life is short, di ba?
Mm.
Pwedeng, yung success mo lang is what yung the society dictates, na successful ka. Kahit sa sarili mo, parang feeling mo, hindi ka happy eh. 'Di ba? Or mabigat yung loob mo. So ngayon na na-define natin success, syempre pag sabi mo, ito pala yung success for me, and kung hindi pa yun yung nararating mo or wala ka pa doon sa stage na yon, sabihin mo na, okay, I know na what success is, but I
Mhm.
have to admit na I'm not there yet. I'm not that successful yet. How, what can you give, no, as an advice naman to our audience there, no, and how they can empower themselves, no, to ensure a thriving 2023. So, halimbawa ngayon ako, okay. So, sa akin, success is different for everyone, and ito yung success for me, but I'm not there yet. How do you empower yourself naman to ensure na this 2023, di ba, you'll attain that goal, or you will thrive, or by the end of the year, you can say na, okay, I'm successful now.
Mm. You know what, if you ask me kasi I'm a very practical person. So I really go
Mhm.
back to strategy then kasi on how do I set my goals. Like for instance, in my case, I really set my goals through using the SMART method. If you're familiar, of course you're
Yeah.
that. So at least the
Mhm.
frustration at the end of it, if you know, if for example, if medyo mayroon akong roadblocks, um,
Mhm.
ganun kasakit because at least the goals that I'm trying to attain is something naman na it's realistic, yet it's something that I
Mhm.
can forgive myself if if I can attain it agad. But at the same time, I will persevere, okay, and I will be consistent. Sometimes kasi others would say na yung pagiging hardworking para it doesn't count because you have to be efficient, 'di ba? Para to shortcut success. But in my case, I would admit that I wasn't born na I was very talented, knowledgeable, smart, if ganun nga. But I really worked hard for it. So be consistent, don't give up, and just do your best. And every milestone, you take note of it so that you can track it this year. And at least makakapag-reflect kayo sa sarili ninyo na, hey, small steps are still wins, 'di ba? These progress are still progress. And
Mhm.
again, you have to be kinder to yourself na if you give 40% today, 50% today, that's still your 100% best. And you continue with that. You don't easily give up. Until such time na ma-feel mo na this is it. This is the goal that I really wanted to attain. It might take time. It might not
Mhm.
visible in
Yeah.
2020 agad, but it would accumulate over time. And eventually, you will again parang harvest it
Harvest.
in due time, in the
Mhm.
right time.
Yeah. So, yung sabi nga ni Claire, no, parang yung parang talagang iba-iba siya, no, for everyone. What success is, and how you empower yourself as well, no. And I agree with everything that she said, no. Also, siguro, dagdag ko
Mhm.
lang, sa akin naman, how to empower myself, yung motivation, balik tayo dun sa motivation, yung kanina na minention natin, no? Yung motivation, siguro sa akin, it's not all, although, kailangan talaga natin ng motivation. We need our whys. Diba? We
Yeah.
need our whys. Pero I think, isa na dapat go hand, one thing that should go hand in hand with motivation is discipline. Kasi, to empower me, sa akin, that's what I do. Um, yung why ko, it's always gonna be there. Diba? My family, my goals for my family. That's why we work also, diba? You have to bring food to the table. But, hindi naman siya mawawala eh. Yung whys natin. Pero, there will be days, we're just human, di ba? Especially tayo sa mga career people, di ba? Na hindi mawawala na there will be days that you don't feel good. Diba? You feel motivated.
Correct.
It's not always rainbows and butterflies. It's not, sabi ni Claire, a walk in the park. There will be days that you just don't feel like doing anything at all. It's your personal space. Also, yung sabi nga, sa mental health mo din, di ba? So, kailangan yun a break also. And, dun papasok yung discipline for me. Di ba? I'm motivated, but I have to admit, I'm human and not perfect. There are days that I don't feel motivated at all. I don't feel like talking. I don't feel like doing anything at all. I just want to rest. I just want to be with myself. I just want to sit with myself, di ba? And dun papasok yung, I know how to take a break, but kailangan, andun pa rin yung disiplina. Di ba? Kasi, kung puro motivation, hindi naman tayo pwede magkaroon, sabi na toxic positivity, di ba? Sa workspace na, naging viral pa nga siya before, di ba? Yung si Don din na toxic positivity, ganyan. But, kailangan mo i-acknowledge di ba?
Yeah.
Pero, dun papasok na kailangan kong maging, kung hindi ako motivated, I need to be disciplined at least. Diba? Dun sa mga goals, ganyan. So, that's, sa akin, that's how I cope with it. That's how I empower myself. I just go back to, it's okay, I'm not motivated today. Take a practice.
The hard pause talaga. And don't feel guilty whenever you don't, parang you feel like you're unproductive. Don't feel guilty about it. Tama yung sinabi mo. You have to take a pause.
Yes. And yun nga. So, sa akin lang, yun lang siya. Motivation and discipline go hand in hand. Or, kapag hindi ako motivated, kailangan ko maging disiplinado. Diba? Because of my goals. Because of my whys. Yeah. So, ikaw, Paula, how do you empower yourself pa? Or, katulad yan, sabi nga din natin also, no, in terms of itong success, yung transition in the careers, ngayon na parang nag-open tayo ng topic about yung transition ng careers, direction ng mga audience natin. And we, the three of us, diba, na-experience natin either retrenchment, redirection, we can relate. But sa mga audience natin, also, who can relate, no, who want to transition into a new career, ma-redirect, diba, madaming opportunities out there. So, wag silang matakot, di ba? So, Claire, ano sa tingin mo naman yung pwede mong mabigay na advice sa audience natin? Or ano yung mga factors na kailangan nilang i-consider also before they transition? Kasi baka ngayon, feeling nila, di ba pag nakikinig ka kasi ng mga, nagbabasa ka ng mga self-help books or nakikinig ka ng itong talks, parang very feeling mo, empowered ka. Parang, okay, I'll go for it. I'll transition na. Iiwan ako na yung job ko. I-follow ko na yung heart ko, di ba? Sa mga audience natin. But hindi naman siya ganun. Kadali din.
Yeah.
Mga factors to consider naman before they find new opportunities as they transition to, whatever they want to, pursue.
Correct. To consider, I think, number one, first things off, they have to decide responsibly. So, sa pagiging responsible natin, we have to really check, again, yung finances natin. Kasi, we have to check our responsibilities at home or other bills natin. Kaya ba natin itong i-sustain if we shift our career? Can we give up yung iba nating nakasanayan to take this path, itong new career shift na gagawin natin? Okay. Number two, don't be afraid to try it out because if not now, when? Okay. Again, just as long as you are doing this responsibly and wholeheartedly, kumbaga. Number three, consult also some of your mentors, consult also, for example, if you're shifting from, example, to HR to business development, maybe you can talk to someone in the field in business development, like ask questions about it. Ano yung pros and cons ng pagiging business developer, for example lang. So that ready ka. Walang walang surprises when you're there already in the position. Kasi baka when you're there na, and ay, wala akong idea na ganito pala yung mangyayari. So at least lang, merong briefing, kumbaga, before you transition to that role. And number 4, siguro don't regret things if you decide to shift a career path, because at least doon mo malalaman if that job talaga is really for you, or tama ba na yung job mo pa rin before yung gagawin mo, or maybe you're into business pala and other stuff. So at least there's a wisdom naman behind the decision, maging successful man, or there could be like, parang regrets at the end. Wag naman sana, at least there's wisdom naman out of it.
And just to add lang, no, Claire, for me, I always ask myself, am I stepping forward? Parang, di ba? Parang, if for example, yung key motivation mo while you're looking for another opportunity is either greener pasture, career growth, personal growth, bago ako mag-transition, I always ask myself, am I stepping forward? Parang ganun siya. So, kapag, like for example, for greener pasture, if my compensation is higher, for career, if my position right now would be better, or mapopromote ba ako kapag lumipit ako. And for personal is, same with Celine, parang, would I feel better? Would I feel growth kapag lumipat ako? So, that is, I think, one thing that you can consider as a factor before moving to another opportunity. Kasi, as you mentioned earlier, Claire, it's not easy. It's not an overnight decision na parang, pagkagising mo, lipat na ako. Hindi siya ganon, di ba? You have a lot to think about. So, for me, one advice that I can give is think about it hard and think about your, let's say, 2 years from now, sa tingin mo, pag lumipit ka, nasan ka na? Like, what are you doing? Always check the future of yourself. Parang, am I gonna be happy? Parang gano'n.
Right.
So, I hope the audience got tips from us. How about you, Celine?
Factors to consider. Ako kasi first-hand experience, diba? So, sabi ko nga, yung sabi ni Claire, first talaga also is, aside from reflection, diba? Yung nagre-reflect ka sa sarili mo na gusto ko na ba itong i-pursue, or ito ba? Two things, no, for me, yung financially prepared. Ang sinabi ni Claire, kasi, especially if you have a family, diba? If you have moms. Hindi siya ganun kadali na empowered ako ngayon. Sabi nila, ganun daw. Si Celine, parang feeling niya successful na siya ngayon kahit back to, diba? You have to be willing to start over again, if ever. But, even if you are willing, like ako, I was willing, diba, na entry level ulit ako, that's fine. Because I feel na if I work naman enough, or if I work hard for it, madadating ko pa din yun if ever I will, go up the professional ladder. But, dapat, hindi mo din, syempre, kung may family ka, hindi mo din, kailangan mo din talaga na enough, diba? Yung finances mo before ka mag-jump into something new. Especially if you are going to start over. And another is, ayan, wala sa isip ko. Another is yung, sure ka talaga. Hindi pwede na parang feeling mo lang gusto mo. Or like say for example, parang yung ginagawa ni Miss Claire is ang ganda. Parang gusto ko yun, parang kaya ko yun. Gusto ko yun. Sige, mag-transition ako. It's not like that. Hindi siya yung dahil nakita mo na experience sa ibang tao. Diba? You cannot learn from other people's mistakes. You cannot learn from other people's experiences. Kailangan ikaw talaga yan.
To experience it firsthand.
Yes, and you are sure about it. You are sure about who you are, about yourself. Sabi ko yung self-awareness na hindi dahil mukhang maganda siya sa iba or hindi dahil naging successful siya na nag-transition siya, is ganun na din yun sa'yo. Diba? Kailangan, sure ka talaga na kapag nag-transition ka or maghanap ka ng bagong opportunity, sure ka na yun talaga siya for you. Not because it was the experience of other people na naging successful because they've done it. Diba? So sa akin, it's for me. That, yeah, ayun, sa akin. Yung factors na they have to consider.
Correct. And ako, personally din yun nga, since I'm a very practical person, sometimes we're not happy. You know, it doesn't give us like full happiness with what we're doing, but it gives us like enough means to be happy in another way. You know, it sustains, for example, gusto mong manood ng sine because na-stress ka, and you know, this job is actually giving you resources to do that. So you divert the energy, 'di ba? Parang you also have to consider na you're really good at something, for example, for a specific job, or maybe if you shift a career, tapos you're good at it, pero it doesn't give you that full happiness, but it can give you resources to be satisfied in another way. So pursue it and be consistent. Mahirap din naman kasi if you transfer from one decision to another kasi hindi lang siya okay for you, hindi ka lang naging masaya. So you really have to, kumbaga in Tagalog, pangatawanan na natin yung mga talaga that we're making wholehearted nga sa dream.
Yeah. Well, in terms of finding new opportunities, diba? Is there being someone in this industry for so long, you know? We talked about what they should consider. If they, halimbawa, yung mga audience natin nag-reflect na, okay, nag-consider na talaga nila, diba? Okay naman sila. They're ready to really find new opportunities. Ano naman yung advice mo, sabi mo sa kanila, how they can start, or kung halimbawa iba dyan na super empowered na, tapos nag-reflect na din na lahat daw ng considerations na shinare natin is na-consider na nila and they're ready now. What can you tell them or any advice to them as they transition or they find opportunities out there?
Correct. So if you guys are really ready, just do it. Start acting on it right now. Don't procrastinate on things na tama ba yung nasa ko? Ito pa yung skill set na hinahanap ko.
Overthinking.
Submit it. Showing up, guys. Kasi yung para sa atin, what's really for us will really come to us. We don't have to force it. So kung yan talaga yung skill set na meron tayo and we're really ready, of course, ibibigay talaga yun sa atin in due time, in our own time.
Despite rejections. So take it from me, hundreds of rejections. I felt there was a point na parang feeling ko hindi yata. Baka naman feeling ko lang kasi gusto ko lang. But, you know, if you're sure, sabi nga ni Miss Claire, diba? If you're ready, if you're sure, your strength, your skill set mo, na talagang ito talaga, magta-thrive ka talaga dito, or you'll do well, you'll be really good at it, go for it. The universe will back you up. God will back you up. Diba?
Yes.
So,
speaking of opportunities, you might want to check our website, link down below. Ay, may ganun. Link down below for job opportunities.
yes.
So, yeah, after everything we've talked about today in terms of retrenchment, in terms of our experience, advices to other people, Claire, ito, pang Miss Universe question to. Sabi ni Direk. What's something you'd like to tell your younger self? Like, if you backtrack with Claire that has a lot of uncertainties pa, like, hindi niya pa alam kung anong path yung iti-take niya, ano yung pwede mong advice sa younger self mo?
Grabe, pang Miss Universe nga yan, no? Wala. What I'll advise to my younger self, be strong. For me, be strong talaga. Kasi as we become adult and as we encounter more responsibilities as we grow up, I would advise this baby girl to be strong, to face the battlefield in school. And eventually, in your personal life, love life, for example, or relationships, and also especially when you enter the corporate world, be strong, girl. Because, you know, if you won't equip yourself kakainin ka talaga.
Yeah.
I may say. But be strong yet be sensible also. The people around you, and aim high, dream more. Ayan. So that's something that, those are the things that I will advise to my younger self, because back then I didn't have someone who will guide me. Well, my parents are there, but of course they have a different generation from us. So iba yung perception nila with how really to guide like someone to be ready in the, let's say, corporate world, diba? But nowadays, like with the Gen X, for example, Gen Z, if I may say, they have a lot of mentors around. If they watch that talk, they would also get like more inspiring messages na they can also apply to their or to remind their younger selves, no, to or what to bring in to the table when they face the battlefield, and for example, finding a job, facing more responsibilities. So there.
You need to be equipped talaga, no?
Yes.
Kasi as you said earlier when you're talking to the younger self, it's really a battlefield out there, girl. You need to have weapons. So, di ba?
You really have to toughen up your emotions.
Yes.
And parang correct. You have to be your own best friend.
That's very true. I agree. It's very nice, no? Talagang strength kailangan talaga in life generally, diba? In personal life and professional life, sa lahat in general, kailangan talaga strength talaga, no? Have to toughen up, sabi nga ni Pierre.
And before we close this, of course, this first episode, I would like to have a follow-up question lang then, Claire. So since your older self talk to your younger self about being strong, ganyan. So let's say going back, you are the baby girl again. You are the Claire that have a lot of uncertainties and yeah. Diba? So, ano naman sabihin mo sa kanya with the Claire right now, was speaking with a lot of audience, having certificates, having titles on her name. Ano naman yung masasabi mo ni baby girl talaga? Ano masasabi ng younger self mo sa Claire ngayon?
Grabe yung questions natin. I say to the Claire that's facing this younger self, I'll say congratulations, you made it. Even if you made it in a lot of ways, like let's say, doesn't necessarily mean again external gains monetarily, but the maturity is there. Like congratulations that you became really mature from who you were in the past. Congratulations with how you manage your responsibilities. Congratulations for impacting so many lives, if I may say. So, and thank you also, right? Thank you for showing up for yourself and for others as well.
And that's very nice. Medyo nakakaiyak na yung part na yun. No? When you talk to your younger self, what the advices would be, and then your younger self talking to you now, or the message of your younger self to who you are now. Siguro idagdag na din natin, no? There, since nakausap mo na yung younger self mo, and then your younger self mo, meron ding message of, parang proudness, diba? Sa kung sino ka ngayon. Ano naman yung message mo to your future self?
Future self? Nako.
You are
after nito, Claire, next year, sali ka na sa Miss Universe.
I will be what? Like 40?
You are to record. No? If you are to record a message or write a message to your
pressure
future self 10 years from now, ano sabihin mo sa
10
kanya?
years from now? Thank you also. Like, thank you for still being consistent, because at this age, like I am at this age, so plus 10 years, let's say, I've impacted more lives. Like,
Yeah,
when it
for
comes to,
sure.
the podcast that I have, parang at least we're spreading good messages for and
Yeah.
encouraging words, diba, for those who are feeling hopeless. And maybe by then I have a book. Congratulations for that book that you're launching again to impact other people's lives. Maybe also thank you for sharing the generosity for a certain charity, because for example, if I'd be like that successful someday,
That's
I
your
can,
goal.
yes, impact like more people, not only in terms of uplifting their career aspirations, but also uplifting their um, lives, like through helping them experience um, good food, like having kahit papano gamit, for example,
Yeah.
in school, di ba? So, yeah, yun lang naman. Those are the things that I wanna say to my future self.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice way of reflection. No? It's a creative way of reflecting on your life, diba? In your
Yeah.
past, in your present, and your future as well. So, siguro before we end also, yung ganitong way, no, everything that we've talked about, everything that we've tackled today, to our audience, no, yung um, we talked about transition, redirection, starting over again. Since our title for our web talk episode today is New Year, New Me, New Career, diba? If you're ready now, I think it's nice that you also reflect like this, no? The way we did today, the way Claire did today, na if you're really ready, no, to venture out into something new out there, start again. Maganda siya na you talk to your past self, let your past self talk to you, and then talk to your future self. Diba? That way, kasi parang ako, while nagsasalita si Claire, napapa-reflect din ako eh. No, in my personal life, my
Yeah.
professional life. And parang gusto ko din kausapin yung ganun, the way Claire reflected today. Diba? And to our audience na, it's nice if you can do it, diba? At home, when you're ready, when you feel like it, as
Yes.
you uh, start your career again, as you find new opportunities, along with the advice that we talked about today, especially everything that Claire shared and shared with us and to our audience.
Correct. Mhm. And I know for sure that past Claire and future Claire would be proud of today's Claire with your recognitions, with your acknowledgments, with your success stories. And I know that a lot of audiences would be curious to know more about Claire. So Claire, can you give us more details about where those audiences can find you?
Yes, to get more of
Mhm.
Claire's wisdom, like
Yes.
Sure.
insights.
Well, I am reachable via LinkedIn. So just search for my name,
Mhm.
Claire Jamias-Ricasata, or maybe in Instagram, Clear with Claire. Yan yung username ko.
Oh, okay. That's witty and fun, huh? Clear with Claire.
I'll respond to you guys as soon as I can. And if you want to send me an email, that's also fine. If you have like mahabang consultation about
Yeah.
your career transitions, etc., anything, you can email me at clairenjamias03@gmail.com.
Yes. So every link will be linked in the description box. So for our art director to put on. So thank you so much, Claire, for of course sharing where the audience can find you. And for sure, marami yan. Marami yung magtatanong, Miss Claire, Miss Claire, Miss Claire, ganyan. Yeah.
All right, and in terms of finding new opportunities, naman,
Mm-hmm.
we can share also, no, just to segue
Yeah.
na din kay Paula, no, for finding new opportunities with Lennor. Paula, I give the floor to you. Where
Yes.
they find new
Mm-hmm.
opportunities naman to
Yeah.
those yung mga ready na mag-transition, ready to start, ready to, job hunt.
For those na ready na mag-commit.
Ayan.
So, I commit sa bagong job, guys, ah. Sa mga ready na mag-commit sa bagong job opportunities, you can check out our website here. I hope ma-edit to. Kung hindi, para akong ewan. You can check out job opportunities here at lennormetier.com. We have a lot of open roles right now with the IT sector, marketing, digital, even engineering and HR. So if you want to check other opportunities, just go to this link and let's see if we can help you match or find a new opportunity.
Yeah, also singit ko na din since I also handle a lot of,
Yeah.
requirements. You can also message me via LinkedIn if you are interested or if you know someone
Mhm.
for, marketing, accounting, uh, jobs, tech and non-tech jobs.
Yeah. So this year talaga is full opportunity and this talk is full of opportunity with Claire opportunity to share her wisdom and experiences and for us sharing job opportunities. So I hope 2023 will be a full of success stories and I think this is a success story number one for us since Lennor Pulse episode 1. And I hope that everyone watching right now would still tune up for our second episode coming soon.
Yes,
Thank
and
you guys.
then thank you so much, Miss Claire, no?
Thank you,
Claire, for
Claire.
your time today, for sharing your wisdom to our audience. We really appreciate it, and we hope to have more of this with you, diba, in the upcoming episode. Any last messages, Claire?
Well, yeah, thank you so much for having me today. And for our audience, again, just keep showing up, just
Yes.
do it. And again, reach out to um, Pau and Celine for career opportunities that lies ahead of you. Thank
Yes.
you.
All right.
Thank
Thank you, Claire and
you.
Paula. Uh, to our audience, no, we hope to see you in the next episode.